Someone said I wasn't going to do a live show, but I guess you're wrong. Good evening. This is Ted Hicks. This is Late Night Parent Radio. We're doing a live 30-minute segment tonight from Atlanta, Georgia. So much to talk about. Ways you can get in contact with the show. LateNightParents.com is the website, which is our portal, which allows you to listen to all the shows that are available on the Happy Hour Network. The Twitter account is Late Night Parent. The Facebook page is facebook.com/Late Night Parents. And my Twitter account is Real Ted Hicks. Always on it, always communicating with folks near and far. As I mentioned previously, this is a special 30-minute segment tonight of Late Night Parents from Atlanta, Georgia. Very shortly, in a few minutes, we're going to be pleased to have Dr. Chris Meletis with us to talk about sleep apnea. Very serious situation with sleep apnea, and we're just going to delve into it. But before we even do that, we do the show with the greatest radio partners in the world. But before we can even mention a radio partner, we have to talk about, I guess it's the hometown. The hometown is Happy Hour Network. Thank you, Mr. Val and Mr. Vanderberg, as always. Looking forward to meeting up with you guys in the next 24 hours, where we discuss baseball, beer, and barbecue. But also on the representing Late Night Parents is our good friends at NGSC Sports. And we're also powered through the iHeartRadio app to hundreds and thousands of folks. Our good friends at UNIR1 Radio, Mr. Scott Price. I want to say thank you for all that you do, and latenightparents.unir1radio.com is the site. Really appreciate, as I said, all that you do for us. One of our other close radio partners that's working with us in depth, Eric Ramel from Radio, the Life Improvement Media Group in Sarasota, Florida. Some good folks down there. I had a really good conversation with him this week, talking about the future of Late Night Parents and how we're going to deliver the show going forward. So shout out to our friends out in Clearwater, Florida, Life Improvement Radio. Our real close friends, FSC Radio, Philadelphia, Raheem, as always doing an outstanding job, pushing along our agenda. Have to say thank you to our friends at I-95 Sports Network. Bobby Blackjack, as always, whenever there's a holiday season when some of these stations, sports stations that I reside on, don't have any live content. Bobby tends to do a Late Night Parents marathon, and as you know, we talk about the best in family trends, education, technology, product reviews, sports, but it all revolves around parenting. So thank you to Bobby Blackjack. As always, as I said, pushing the agenda forward, and we appreciate you guys. Our good friends in Dallas, Texas, our sports radio, Mike and Rodney, thank you guys for all that you do. We appreciate you very, very much for airing the show. One of our other key radio partners in London, in the UK, Mr. Ted Hicks, XRP Radio in the UK. I mean, here it is. It's a situation where we're 5 hours, behind. And I mean, I'm always on whether it's through instant messenger, whether it's through some form of communication of talking with the folks there, and always keeping me in tune with their group. So Tis XRP, we want to say thank you for all that you guys do. We have, many other friends and folks that, whether they play Late Night Parents or they play any of the other shows that I'm affiliated with on the Happy Hour Network, I want to say thank you to all of you guys for all your help and your support. We, like I said, we do appreciate you. So now that I've gotten all the pleasantries out of the way, we're in Atlanta. We're going to, the Masters is going on. I mean, I can't even get into today, real briefly recap the last 24 hours. Took my family to Madison Square Garden to watch the Knicks and Pacers play because my daughter's a big fan of Paul George, PG-13, as she refers to him. So the family and I, we were in Midtown at Madison Square Garden. Wonderful, the world's most famous arena. Went out to Dallas BBQs right after that. Had a great fun and family time, and it's things like this that after the event is over, after everything has slowed down, when we're driving home, and the kids just say, they give you a heartfelt thank you, and I love you, Dad, and, I really appreciate you going all out. So hopped on a flight at LaGuardia Airport, made it to Atlanta, and I happened to forget it's the Masters in Augusta because I was trying to get a rental, and it was insane. I made it out, just not too far from the Hartfield Airport. So, as mentioned, we're going to watch the Mets at Braves. They arrive tomorrow. I think there's also an Atlanta Hawks game I think I'm going to try and squeeze in, but as I've said before, it's going to be a pretty good time here. Looking forward to meeting up with some of the folks from Happy Hour Network, and we can continue to build and see how we're going to extend the radio imprint for the next 6 months. So now that I've bored you to death with my last 24 hours, my whirlwind 24 hours of being, this morning it was 42 degrees, and I get off a plane and it's 80 degrees. It's good times like that. But the topics that are going on, like I said, it's only going to be a 30-minute edition. But Dr. Chris is going to be joining us in a couple of minutes. We're going to be talking about the perils of sleep apnea. It's a serious subject, folks, real serious subject, and we're going to delve into it. It's so good to have Dr. Chris back with us. He was with us a few weeks ago. So hopefully he'll, pop in from time to time, maybe make a monthly call. But as always, it's a pleasure to have him on here. We're going to jump into it right now. I mean, I believe I see Dr. Chris in the queue.
Good
Dr.
evening.
Chris,
how are you?
Pretty good.
Hey, I'm doing great.
Thanks so much for joining us. I mean, I know you were here like a month ago, but it's always a pleasure to have you here.
Hey, it's a pleasure to be had, and more importantly, I just applaud you for all the good work you're doing, sharing the message and education. I think we all can make a big difference, especially with people like yourself getting other experts leading the charge.
Dr. Chris, I mean, that's what we're all here for. We got to continue to put this message out to the various parents out there and just letting them know there's an avenue out here. We'll get into it really quick with you. I mean, sleep apnea is on the rise. There's a lot going on about it, but I want you to kind of elaborate. Tell us, what is sleep apnea?
Well, sleep apnea, simply put, is when we underbreathe or stop breathing. And so lots of times we'll have either a child or a partner, which we're saying, well, they're not really big snorers. But I know, for example, in the case with my wife, she just was a really shallow breather, and you keep on underbreathing as you're relaxing and sleeping at night, and your oxygen levels drop, drop, drop. And it doesn't have to be a dramatic gasping of air. It's just your oxygen levels are low, and just like a kink in the garden hose, eventually you're not watering the garden or delivering the oxygen to those 75 trillion cells, and guess what? Then you're not feeling so well the next morning.
So Dr. Chris, tell me, why is sleep apnea on the rise?
There's a lot of questions as to why. Part of it is obesity. A lot of people are overweight. Our kids are overweight. We're overweight as parents. But in addition, lots more allergens, a lot more pollutants, things that irritate the airway. And another risk factor we often forget is if you had orthodontic work done, you quote-unquote straightened your teeth, lots of times they didn't work on making your mouth equal to where it would have been, but they say, okay, I'm just going to make your teeth straight. But often your tongue, as you were designed with, is bigger than the jaw that they ultimately leave you with, so you have really straight teeth but a more narrow bite, and that actually increases your risk. Or allergies as a child. I had allergies as a child, and that increased my risk of sleep apnea. Go figure.
So statistics show 38,000 people die in North America from sleep apnea. I mean, this is extremely high number for a disease that can be controlled. I mean, is it time to save yourself, a loved one, or a friend? I mean, so.
Oh, without a question. Yeah, over the last 20 years, I've been blessed to save probably 15 to 20 people a month in my practice. And we're talking about sometimes 150-pound people that they're in great shape, they're 5'8", and you're saying 150-pound person. I thought this was like big old truck drivers or something. Like, not at all. In fact, I've had 103-pound women with as big a sleep apnea issue where their oxygen levels are dropping as my bigger guys. And so it's really an equal opportunity issue. It's more common among certain cultures and ethnicities. If you have an African heritage, it's a little bit more common. Asian or Hispanic, a little bit more. If you're menopausal or andropausal, so you've hit that magical right around 50 as a guy or a gal, that's going to be a problem. And then, of course, if you're a smoker, that's a risk factor. It's like, wow, it's just like there's so many risk factors that we were never told about. And remember a generation ago, like so-and-so died in their sleep. Could have been sleep apnea. Heart attack, stroke, and they just didn't know. Now we know that, guess what? They didn't get enough oxygen to their brain or to their heart, and they passed. And it's sad.
So I guess it is a catch-22 with weight and weight gain, menopause, and andropause?
Yeah, there's no question. In fact, I'm going to be giving 5 hours of lectures down in Los Angeles area next week, and we're going to talk about the hormone relationship with weight gain, that when a man hits andropause, which is male menopause, or a woman hits menopause, she starts gaining weight, in part because she's not sleeping as well, in part because of her hormones. And as we gain weight, there's a general rule that if a woman has a collar circumference around the neck of 15 inches, she has a 50% chance of having sleep apnea, everything else being equal. A man, 16.5 inches. Now, if you're more petite and everything's fit into a more tight space, that doesn't even apply, because for you, your neck might be big unto your body. So it's like, but yeah, the moment you start gaining weight or you're getting older, which we really don't want to control, we want to get older, you're increasing your risk of getting sleep apnea.
So could you tell me this much? Do many people live in denial with the fact that what they may be dealing with sleep apnea issues?
Yes, they are. They're living in denial. Most of the patients I end up diagnosing say, there's no way I could have sleep apnea. I